Hi everyone, Chloe here, pediatric sleep consultant and the owner and founder of Lune Consulting. Today we are chatting all about one of my favorite healthy sleep tools, sleep sacks. I love sleep sacks. I know I'm not a big advocate of sleep tools that tell you that if you just introduce this one thing, you will have an amazing sleeper. Not about that. But I am about using the tools to help your little one and set them up for success come time to fall asleep all on their own. And sleep sacks are one of those things that I recommend in every single consultation that I do with babies anywhere really from 0 to 3 pretty much until we transition out of that crib. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about how to use a sleep sack, when to use a sleep sack, why to use a sleep sack. So let's jump in. Why do we use a sleep sack? So I know I just mentioned it, but it really is one of those tools that can be so helpful to your little one when they're prepping their body and brain for sleep. Many parents tell me that as soon as that sleep sack goes on, their baby starts rubbing eyes, yawning. All of those little tired cues are literally clicked on once those sleep sacks go on their bodies. And that's because they associate them so strongly with sleep. And they're one of those things that is so helpful come time to be able to fall asleep on their own. Especially when we're talking about, and this is going to bleed into a little bit about when we start using them, but especially for little ones who are going out of the swaddle, I highly recommend instead of just going into PJs, so those arms are out, we use a sleep sack as well as transitioning them out of that swaddle, or I should say instead of the swaddle. Once it's no longer safe for them to be in that swaddle, we want to transition to something else where their arms are out. A sleep sack not only allows your little ones to have their arms out, but they also still provide them that comfort and that healthy sleep cue, as well as they still have the boundaries to push against. It's not just them in their cribs all on their own, right? But we know we can't introduce things like a blanket or a pillow or anything like that until at least 1 year old. So let's introduce the next best thing, a sleep sack. Okay, a little bit more about when we use them. So again, once we're rolling, we are no longer safe to be in a swaddle with our arms constricted. So we have to go with something that keeps our arms out. So I always recommend parents, when you're transitioning out of the swaddle, you go to a sleep sack so that those arms are out. They can push themselves up if they need to, if they roll. All of those developmental things that are happening at that time require those arms out. So make sure you transition into a sleep sack. And then I was also asked earlier this week, because I know I put a question box up there for my followers about, what do you want to know about sleep sacks? What can we talk about in this video that is helpful to you? Another question I got was, when do we transition out of them? Okay, I have some pretty strong views about this. It's not the right way or the wrong way, but I think you should not transition your little one out of that sleep sack until you transition out of the crib. Plenty of people do it earlier. There is no right or wrong, but I want to tell you that it gives your child that healthy sleep cue, that healthy sleep association while they're still in the crib, while they, you can't have, well, I guess you could have a blanket and a pillow in the crib once you start prepping them for an open bed, but until they're in that, giving them that healthy sleep cue, that healthy sleep association that's not going to fall off like a blanket is, because pro tip, not until closer to 3 or 4, which is when we would transition into an open bed, are little ones really able to pull those blankets over them to keep themselves warm. So a sleep sack just does all of that for them. So the sleep sack I'm going to talk about in a second, one of my favorites, goes all the way up to 36 months, and I've had plenty of kiddos, as long as they still fit the height and weight requirements, use them longer. So I highly recommend you keep it until you're transitioning out of that crib into an open bed. Okay, we've talked about the why, we've talked about the when. Now I want to tell you a little bit more about one of my favorite sleep sacks and favorite products to recommend in general. This product in particular, and I'm going to show you in a second, this product in particular was actually introduced to me by my sister, which if you've read my about page, if you've read my story about what brought me to this journey of becoming a sleep consultant in general, my sister found these when she was, or right around the same time as when she was sleep training her twins. So she introduced me to this product. I reached out to them and now we have a wonderful friendship, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them now. So this is the Woolino sleep sack. I'm going to tag them in the caption below so you can see. You guys, this sleep sack goes from 2 months to 2 years. That's one of the main reasons why I love them. It lasts forever. You basically have to buy one, unless, of course, your little one has aged out a bit by 2. They do have others that go up to 36 months for toddler sleep sacks. But for the baby ones, they go all the way up to 2 years. That's one product that you have to buy for all that time. That's amazing. The other thing being too, they have this side zipper and it's really high quality and sturdy, which I really like, especially when little ones start to become Houdini and can figure out zippers on their own. It's much easier if it's on their side. They can't quite get to it like they can in the front. It also has the snaps on the top so that you can put them in it easier, as well as, let me get this back on, as well as the snap on the side. So this is why, a big part of the reason why it's universal. It's smaller for when your little one is a baby or littler, and then it opens up for when they're older and they need some more arm space in there, so it won't be so constricting on their little arm right here. So I love that. The other thing about these guys is that they are made of merino wool, which means that they're all season. So not only are they almost all ages, but they're also all season, meaning that they stay warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So they're pretty much temperature regulating. I had a couple of my past clients write down why they love their Woolino sleep sack. And I want to read those off to you guys real quick because I think this just explains exactly why they are so wonderful. Okay, so one of them said, "It is so soft and keeps our baby warm and cozy at night. It has a nice weight without being bulky and helps to settle our little one to sleep." Again, you guys know I am all about not using products that are promising that they're going to help your little one to sleep all on their own, because as we all know, that's not possible. We need much more than just a product to get us to fall asleep on our own. But this is one of those tools that will help them get there and help them do it every single time. Another one said, "It gives me peace of mind that he's comfortable and cozy during all seasons. Such a great investment." I love that. And then finally, someone else said, this is my favorite one because they love this sleep sack and they totally resonate with my feelings around it. They said, "I'm obsessed. It's so much more than a sleep sack. It's an integral part of our bedtime routine. No matter the temperature in the room, he's comfortable. I think it's the perfect product. I wish I had one for myself."